This is breaking news on Morning Blend Extra Shot.
Fires all over the state this morning. This is video of the Getty fire that broke out in Los Angeles around 1:30 this morning. This is burning near the Getty Center and Museum, causing a full closure of the southbound lanes of 405 near Valley Vista. So far, it has burned more than 400 acres, Walt.
And the massive Kincade Fire continues to wreak havoc across the North Bay right now, forcing hundreds of thousands of people from their homes. So far, it's burned more than 66,000 acres, getting a big boost from the high winds yesterday.
And take a look at these flames in Vallejo yesterday. We had to shut down 80 both directions for hours. Now, thankfully, all lanes are now open, but the damage is done. The city is now declaring a state of emergency. Good morning, I'm Brittany Begley. Walt Gray joins us on another busy day of breaking news.
Yeah, we have team coverage for you today. Carlos Herrera is standing by in Windsor. That's north of Santa Rosa. The Kincade Fire continues to grow in very hot, dry, windy conditions. And Joey Prechtel is on Main Street, downtown Placerville, old Hangtown. We're learning more about PG&E's power outages.
Yeah, and first we had to start out with the weather. I know, Carly, yesterday you said you made your way into work. There was leaves, debris, even a tree down.
Yeah.
How was your ride in this morning?
Oh, much better. Other than just the debris left on the roadways and some on the streets and neighborhoods, we're looking at more calm winds. The winds finally starting to slow down this morning, especially for areas toward the coastal ranges. Hopefully we can get a little bit of a better handle on the Kincade Fire at this point, but we are looking at some more strong winds on the way, unfortunately. Now, temperatures were also very cold this morning as temperatures dropped as a low pressure system passed yesterday. But right now we're in the upper 50s for most of the valley, 41 degrees in Tahoe. Now, take a look at these winds. We're right around 3-mile-per-hour winds in Santa Rosa, so things have definitely started to calm down as of later in the morning. Now we're looking about 8-mile-per-hour winds there for Marysville. Everything pretty calm in Sacramento for the most part, light to calm, up to 5 miles per hour. Take a look at some of these numbers as we start to move throughout the day. We're really only reaching upper 60s to low 70s in some spots of the valley. So we're not really looking at a major jump in temperature, and everything's really going to be rather calm to cool today. 21% though. Take a look at this relative humidity. We're still very dry out there. We'll continue to be dry as the red flag warning is in place through the week, at least through Wednesday, now that this big event of strong winds is coming in. Low 70s on average for the valley, 66 in the foothills, 52 in the Sierra. We'll also look at cooler temperatures in the Bay Area. But these strong winds are on the way. We're going to talk all about them, when you can expect them, and when we can finally expect them to leave. Brittany.
Thank you so much for your update. Well, turning to the other big story in our area, the PG&E power shutoffs. Right now, PG&E is inspecting lines and working to restore power to over 1 million customers. Now, most of the outages were planned, but there are a lot of places that lost power because of the strong winds Sunday. Unfortunately, those areas may not have power for long because PG&E is expected for another round of shutoffs on this Tuesday. That brings us to Placerville and one of the communities. Joey, I know you've been on Main Street for the past couple of days. What are the folks talking about this morning?
Well, something interesting about downtown Placerville is how the businesses are split up here. Where the businesses to my left are powered up, they actually have electricity, whereas the businesses over to my right, they're currently in the dark without any power. So let me explain how that works. It turns out that the businesses to my left or to the west, they're actually powered by underground power lines, and there's actually a generator powering those up. Whereas the businesses to my right, they're powered up by lines that are above the ground. So that's why they are currently in the dark. This means stores like the Bookery are running with no power. But instead of just closing down, customers came in and they just needed a flashlight to look for a book that they would like. We saw a few customers doing this actually when we were in there. The store manager, though, told me the power shutoffs are really hurting profits here.
Even though there's a lot of cars out there, it kind of feels like a little bit of a ghost town. Usually it's very vibrant, tons of people walking the streets, the restaurants are popular. But yeah, it's kind of dead. And it doesn't seem like a lot of people are thinking about shopping right now. Business has been down pretty significantly on the days that we've had no power.
Now, PG&E did tweet out that they are sending, thousands of workers to do their all-clear weather checks. So the businesses, as well as the people that live here in Placerville, could see their power restored at some point today. However, that power being back could be very short-lived because PG&E has already announced that they plan on doing potentially another round of these power shutoffs as early as tomorrow. Back to you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people worried about their businesses as yet another day without power. I know you've been working all weekend. Thank you for your updates. Well, several schools are also closed today because of the shutoffs. Most of them are in El Dorado County and places like Pollock Pines and Placerville. But some of those closures are Nevada, Yuba, and Sonoma counties. And you know the list will keep changing. You better believe we're going to update you on abc10.com throughout the day on all your changes. Now, for a better idea of the impact of these shutoffs, take a look at your screen. Every dot you see are communities right now without power. Now, keep in mind that Cal OES says for every customer, this is a big part of the story, right? Translates into 3 people. So we're actually talking about millions of people without power. So we want to make sure you get the information you need to keep you and your family safe. For a link at the map, text the word power to the phone number. I'll say it twice, 916-321-3310. Again, that's 916-321-3310, and we will respond with the link that you need. Now, you better believe we've been covering these breaking stories all weekend with everything you need to know on our ABC 10 app. You can download it for free. You can get all of our updates online and online coverage straight to your phone with just a click of the button. At 11:06, Extra Shot will be back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back, everyone. The Kincade Fire is causing devastation across Sonoma County this morning. A number of evacuation centers have been set up. A lot of people have absolutely nowhere to go. So what better way to possibly start their morning off, brighten them up a little bit? Marcus Allen's out there bringing some sweet gifts.
Yeah, guys, we're at Petaluma Valley Baptist Church. We started out earlier this morning at the fairgrounds. They were at capacity, spilling over, and thankfully centers like this taking in the likes of Alan. How are you, Alan?
I'm doing good.
All right, but not doing great because not that long ago you were alerted that you had to leave your home.
Yeah, I was actually alerted 3 times.
Got it. And a little disconcerting, things that you've only seen on television and film suddenly happening to you, right?
Yeah, but I'm fine with it, really, as long as my family's okay.
Yeah, and your family's doing okay?
Yeah.
And fortunately, you told me just moments ago that your house is okay, so you're really just riding it out at this point.
Yeah, actually, my whole town's okay. Just cops don't let us back in.
Well, blessings for that. Thanks for talking to us. Pastor Allen just took over this church a few months ago, and not long after you arrived, this is the very first time you've actually taken in evacuees.
Yeah, this is the first time our church has done this. Yeah, as far as taking in people from the community.
How many do you have here?
We have around 150.
Got it. And I just talked to Alan. He's in good spirits. How are people doing?
Yeah, people seem to be doing well. They went to bed last night. We had dinner. People were very grateful and happy, polite, helping each other. So it really is a sense of the community coming together. People in the church, we talked about this yesterday in our services, that this is what we do. This is how we follow Jesus, and by loving our neighbor.
Yeah, well, thanks for doing what you can do.
Absolutely.
All right, want to help them out? Follow me, Marcus Allen Shell. I'll tell you how you can help them out. You want to help out the Red Cross? Text to 90999, the word Red Cross. Your donation can go up or down. Whatever you want to give, everything counts in large amounts.
Marcus Allen, thank you for that. That was great this morning. Several fires burning in our state. The Getty Fire, the most recent. 500 acres consumed so far. 40 homes destroyed. We'll take a look at that after the break.
And Sunday's winds were a sight to see as fires spread and flared up across Northern California. Now another strong wind event in the forecast. I'll let you know how long it's expected to last.
The speed of news. Faster, stronger, more connected. The all-new ABC 10 Information Network. Connected to you. Powered by Xfinity.
Welcome back. It's 11:13. We've been talking a lot about fires and power outages, but we want to tell you about some other big stories that you need to know about at midday. The leader of ISIS is dead. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was killed by members of the Army's elite Delta Force. He founded the Islamic State and launched a global campaign of jihad. President Trump calls the raid a great victory for America. California Representative Katie Hill has resigned after facing allegations of inappropriate relationships with staffers in her office. The Democrat from Southern California says her husband weaponized explicit photos of her and a campaign staffer. And Brexit is officially delayed overnight. The European Union agreed to give the UK until the 31st of January to leave. It was supposed to happen this week. This gives Britain more time to negotiate a divorce deal. And we're tracking the Kincade Fire in Sonoma County. Started Wednesday night late. By the numbers, more than 66,000 acres burned, 96 buildings destroyed, nearly 200,000 people have been forced from their homes. New video from the Kincade Fire giving us an up-close look at what it's been like to get out of that area. Narrow roads and steep terrain making access difficult for the more than 4,000 people assigned there to fight the fire. Governor Newsom is calling this fire, quote, the most stubborn challenge that the state's fire agencies are facing. The winds there, again, are devastating, reaching some 90 miles per hour or more in gusts. And this morning, CAL FIRE gave updates in a press conference. Carlos Herrera joins us now. What are the latest numbers, Carlos?
I'm in Shiloh Ridge right now, that area which was referred to by CAL FIRE officials as the most actively burning yesterday night and early this morning. Right now, I'm on Fraught Road and Pleasant Avenue. You're seeing here a lot of crews on standby. They're focusing mostly on structure protection because that fire closely burning in that hill. You can see one of the crews parked in this home. They were coming in and out of that house earlier this morning. Now, if we kind of tilt that camera up into that hill, you can see that big plume of smoke. That's how close that fire is coming to the homes here. It's been moving south and west, fueled, as you mentioned, Walt, with those strong moving winds. We shot some video earlier this morning as the fire moves its way through residential communities in Shiloh Ridge here. This area now under mandatory evacuation after being under evacuation warning yesterday. We saw Sonoma County deputies and, of course, police here going out door to door, making sure that everyone left. That's the problem here. And earlier this morning, of course, wind gusts of up to 60 miles an hour, making things much more difficult, creating and sparking much more spot fires. As soon as firefighters were done putting out one fire, there was another one sparking. And of course, that has also spread evacuation orders in this area. We heard from Congressman Jeff Huffman earlier. Here's what he had to say about that.
Everyone seeking services or shelter from the immigrant community should do so with confidence that there will not be immigration enforcement activity.
Really important updates there. Of course, we've been hearing a lot from people on Facebook about that specific topic. Good news here, though, as the fire has died down a little bit today, and that's exactly what fire crews will take advantage of today, Walt.
All right, Carlos, with the very latest, talking about that Kincade Fire. Very long way to go before this thing gets knocked down. Carlos, thank you. Brittany.
All right, we continue to follow the Getty fire as it continues to burn along the 405 freeway in Southern California. We first brought this to you this morning as breaking news. There's more than 500 acres happening right now. So we asked Steve Price to give us an update.
All right, technical difficulties there. Maybe we can bring that further in the show. All right, let's talk about the weather because this is going to be the big deal in the next day. We just got a little bit of a break today from this strong wind event we felt yesterday. We did see a few of these leftover morning gusts, especially for areas along the coastline, the coastal range. Now we're mostly calm for your Monday, especially moving into the afternoon, evening hours, but we are looking at another huge wind event coming in on Tuesday and specifically through the night into Wednesday. So let's take a look at this. This is very similar to the same setup we saw yesterday. A low pressure system to the east, a high pressure system just over the Pacific Northwest and offshore. But I want you to take a look at this jet stream, how high it goes up into the Gulf of Alaska, really starting to take a deep dive toward areas of the 4 states. They even saw a lot of snow in Denver as of yesterday. They could see another big event due to that massive dip in the jet stream and this low pressure system bringing in some moisture there. But for us, that's not moved over enough toward the west to even bring us moisture at this point. It's too far to the east and we have a high pressure system here. But the two here are going to start pushing up once again against each other. And that's what's been bringing us these winds. This is our second wind event in just 2 days as we're going to start seeing this as of even early as Tuesday morning. We could expect that to move in. And now this low is skewed toward the east and the strong winds are starting to push in. First moving in very strong into eastern Oregon and then moving in for California. Now I want to show you where we're looking at this. We started off this morning with a few peak wind gusts near Fairfield. We see a couple spots there that helped the fire flare up just a tiny bit this morning. Otherwise now we are seeing more calm to light winds out there. You can see that across our map. But as we start to look toward the future, let's take a look at this. You start up as early as 8:30 a.m. and take a look at the coastal range. You start to see some of these colors starting to show up here in little small patches of orange, and even in the Sierra. Now the Sierra, this is expected to be one of the bigger events for the Sierra this time. I know this last few days we haven't seen the big event for the Sierra as much as we did for the coastal range, but here it is. You see a lot of that purple shade, the 50+ mile-per-hour winds starting up just north there, northeast of Auburn, and then through the Sierra. Now you can see the coastal range isn't as purple as it was on Sunday, but we're still looking at winds anywhere from 20 to 40 miles per hour, which is still strong. And they don't have that handle yet on the Kincade Fire, so that's very dangerous. Now moving forward, we're looking at Tuesday night, and here's where everything starts to flare up overnight into the evening hours. We start to see these numbers jump up, especially into the foothills and Sierra, and then finally through the overnight hours things start to calm down really until we get into the mid-morning hours. We'll start to see things slow down just a bit. So this looks like it's going to be anything from a 12 to a 24-hour event depending on where you are and where this all starts up for you. Now let's take a look ahead, because we are looking at different wind speeds for this event, which is going to affect everyone differently. The low pressure system this time is further east than what we saw on Sunday, meaning the winds are shifting just a bit further east as well. The coastal mountain range is looking anywhere from 20 to 40 miles per hour. The valley 20 to 30, even 35 mile per hour winds. Eastern foothills 30 to 50 miles per hour. These are sustained winds, and then we could see some wind gusts even pushing up to about 60 miles per hour. Let's take a look here at our potential shutoffs. That has been extended from Tuesday to Wednesday in that yellow elevated shade there. So yes, we are going to see potential impacts when it comes to PG&E shutoffs here. Brittany.
We have more breaking news updates, and we're just hearing about some flights from SAC to LA that are canceled. We'll give you the scoop coming up.
Brittany and Walt, good morning. We are in the Brentwood area of Los Angeles, a very wealthy area. Residents, including LeBron James and Arnold Schwarzenegger, in this area.
Welcome back to Morning Blend Extra Shot. We continue to follow breaking news. Sea prices in LA with an update on the Getty Fire.
Brittany and Walt, good morning. We are in the Brentwood area of Los Angeles, a very wealthy area. Residents, including LeBron James and Arnold Schwarzenegger, in this area. Unfortunately, it is also an area filled with canyons that have a lot of thick, dry brush, and you can see those flames this morning raced right up here through Kenner Canyon. Firefighters did one heck of a job, though. You can see how those flames got right up to several homes on the other side of the canyon, and the crews were able to save them. They saved a lot of homes, but unfortunately, they weren't able to save all of the homes. In fact, at least 5 homes have been destroyed so far, including this one here in the 1100 block of Tiger Tail Road here up the Kenner Canyon area. Mandatory evacuations underway. As you can imagine, it was extremely scary for the homeowners up here, having police knock on their doors at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, telling them they only had just a few minutes to grab what they could and then get out. Mandatory evacuations for many people out here, thousands of people. Fire crews, though, they did hit these flames hard. They hit them fast, both from the ground and from the air. And that attack at this point does seem to be working as they have been able to stop the flames in this area. Unfortunately, though, those Santa Ana winds are not their friend today. They are pushing to the west, and so at this point, those flames are jumping into some of the other canyons. The crews have been able to get a little bit ahead of them, though, at this point. In fact, we can hear one of the big planes coming over above now that we're dropping the fire retardant from above. That's what they're using to try and save these homes, and as I mentioned, it does seem to be working at this point, as they have been able to stop several of the other homes from burning. And you can see another one of those large aircraft there over my shoulder. So at this point, 5 homes confirmed gone from these fires, but crews aggressively trying to do their best to prevent any more damage. No fatalities reported, no serious injuries reported. So that is the good news here from Los Angeles. We'll send it back to you in the studio, Walt and Brittany.
That's Steve Price reporting from Los Angeles. Very busy morning there. Obviously, wind's an issue there, certainly for us too.
No, definitely. And as we got the winds yesterday, the same exact wind event we saw, they're now seeing as of last night. So we're looking at that shift in winds because of the low that's moving south, and that's what they're looking for. Currently, we're seeing some calm winds, which is great, but we have another wind event coming for Tuesday. Prepare for that because PG&E says there is an elevated threat for that. And as we move into as early as 8:30 a.m., we could see those winds. Look into the afternoon, evening hours, 5:30, you see the winds start to expand even further across much of the foothills and along the coastline. And you can see again, the Kincade Fire could be impacted. Santa Rosa area with those dark purple shades. That's scary stuff for firefighters.
Oh, guaranteed it's going to be a huge issue, you know. They need rain, they need the winds to stop, and they're not getting either at this point. So it's going to be problematic, I think, for at least a week more.
Right, exactly.
So many people asking, will I have power, will I not, when my kids go to school? So a lot going on today.
Good point.
Thank you so much for joining Morning Blend.